Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's adapted yoga class. This class is adapted for people with high blood pressure, diabetes, joint problems. It is adapted, so and I don't know who's there, so you must make sure that you listen to your own body. If anything feels wrong, don't do it. We are going to be staying on the floor today. I'm just going to let some in. We are going to be starting on the floor today. Morning. I've already started recording, so don't turn your mic on. Turn your camera on, but not your mic. So you are going to be starting on the floor today. If you can, make sure, especially if you've got knee problems, you've got a couple of cushions handy. If you have problems getting to the floor, make sure that you've got your chair. You can always bring your cushion. If it's, say, your left leg that's the problem, then you bring your hands onto the chair. You can bring your good knee down and then bring yourself onto your bottom. And it'll be the same way of getting back out. You think about if you've got a left leg that's the pain, have the cushion for your right knee. Bring yourself onto your right knee. Your other knee doesn't go down. You're bringing it flat. And then you're using your hands to bring you out of it. I'm going to take myself back down. Keep them close if you need them. And if anything doesn't feel right, if you're doing anything, then again stop. There will be some stuff that we do on our knees. So like I said, if you've got your extra padding, put that on. If you haven't, then either omit it or I will show you a different version if you need to as well. So we're going to start by lying down and just doing a bit of breathing. So you're going to lie yourself flat down. Make sure that your spine is nice and relaxed, that you haven't got too much of an arch. So if your feet are down, you may find that arch under your spine is really big. Bring your knees up and then push the foot down so that you've flattened, and then you can take your hand out. If you place your hands just lightly on your stomach, tuck your chin in, bring your knees together, and just bring yourself to your mat. So just thinking about your breathing, if you lightly cross your fingers, so that as you breathe in, you'll feel the fingers come apart as you breathe in. As you breathe out, they should fall back together. So that you're becoming aware of that breath. As you're breathing in, you're just thinking of any parts of your body that you feel tight or feel stressed. Any areas that have got any injuries. As you're breathing out, imagine everything being pulled out of the body. Any thoughts that come into your head, just label them thoughts or past, future. Try not to get led away with them. Just thinking about the breathing, thinking about your body, how's it feeling at this present moment. So stay nice and relaxed. We're going to take our hands and just drop them to the floor, palms up. And we're going to start stretching the neck. So we're going to pull the chin right down to the chest, but we're keeping the head on the floor, but we're tucking the chin right the way in. We're holding it here for 3 breaths. We may find the arch in that back gets a bit bigger. That's okay. Just making you aware of what happens as you move one part of the spine, what happens to another part of the spine. We're stretching all the back of that neck. So we're going to bring it back to centre. We may find again the spine relaxes back in the middle. So we're going to take the chin backwards, keeping the head on the floor. We can open the mouth. And again, as we extend the neck at the back, what happens with the rest of the spine? If we want, we could always close the mouth and push the chin up towards the ceiling to increase the stretch at the front of the neck. And then we're bringing the head back to centre. So again, the spine feels like it's back to a more natural position. So we're going to keep our head on the floor, but we're going to slide our ear towards our shoulder. Now our nose should be pointing up in the air, not our chin. So we want to make sure our chin's pulled in. We're sliding our hands towards our feet. So that even though we've got our ear towards our shoulder, we don't want our actual ear and the shoulder to touch. And we're bringing it back to centre. So again, we're taking it over towards the other shoulder, making sure that chin's tucked in, the hands are pushing away. 3 breaths. How does the spine feel as we move the head to the one side? And we're bringing the head back to centre. So this time we're going to bring our ear towards the shoulder as if we're looking over the ear, over the shoulder. Ear to the floor as we're looking over the shoulder. Sorry, don't know what I said then. So we don't want to make sure that our other shoulder isn't lifting off the floor. And again, we're just thinking about what's happening with the spine. What happens with the shoulders, what happens with the face, what happens with the breathing. And bringing it back to centre. And we're taking it over the other side. So again, we don't want the shoulders to lift up. We want to keep the shoulders down. But what's happening with the body? And again, we're bringing that head back to centre. So we're going to bring our feet together, but still keep them knees bent. Take the hands out in line with the shoulders, palm flat down. And we're going to bring our knees, keeping them together, over to the side. They don't have to touch the floor, but we want to make sure that the shoulders both stay flat down. If we want, we can keep looking up towards the ceiling, or we can turn our head and look in the opposite direction to our knees. And again, how does that feel on the spine? From keeping the head in one position to moving it. Where can you breathe? And then we're bringing it back to centre. And we're taking it over to the other side. So again, we're dropping the knees. They don't have to touch the floor. We can keep the head looking up to the ceiling but chin tucked in, or turn and look down our arm. We don't want the knees to come apart or the feet to drop off. We want them to stay together. And then we're bringing it back to centre. So if you wanted, you could lift the feet off the floor, but that's only if your knees went to the floor. So I'm staying here in this position. So you're keeping them knees together. We're bringing them back over to the side. And then we're turning our head wherever we want to. As we breathe out, we're letting the hips relax. You'll feel everything start to pull down until eventually the knees go to the floor, but without compromising the shoulder. And they shouldn't come apart, they should be together. And we're bringing it back. And we're changing sides last time. Don't compromise, don't lift that shoulder. Keep it flat down. Feel this in that lower part of the spine. Coming from being in bed all night, this is quite nice to kind of wake up the body. And bringing it back to centre. So same with the knees bent. We're going to roll over onto our side and we're going to do an arm opening. So you're placing your hands flat down, one palm up, the other palm flat down on top of it, the head relaxing. If you've got that pillow and you want to put a cushion underneath your head so that the head feels in a nice position, then you can. You're going to lift the top arm, breathing in, reaching up as if someone's pulling your arm out of the socket. And then you're breathing out, you're rolling back. But you're keeping the knees together and you're keeping them on the floor. Again, if the hand doesn't go all the way to the floor, it doesn't matter. But again, you'll feel this slightly higher up the back. It opens up the chest. Again, it's just a nice one to wake us up in the morning. And then we're going to breathe out as we bring it back to centre. So we're going to do one more. We're breathing in, we're lifting our arm up, stretching up, and breathing out, rolling back. Have a look at your hand that you've moved out so that the head moves as well, but don't let them knees come apart. Keep them together. And again, think, how's the breathing affected? So we're going to breathe in, lifting the arm, breathe out, bring it down. So we're going to roll over to do the other side. So again, the knees are on top of each other, the hips are on top of each other, the shoulder blades are on top of each other. The head's nice and relaxed, the spine's in a nice straight line. We're breathing in to lift that top hand up, and we're breathing out to take it across the body. Like I said, if it doesn't touch the floor, it doesn't matter. You're just letting your body relax with every breath out. And then we're breathing in. And then breathing out as we bring it down. Let's go one more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then breathing in. Breathe out. Roll yourself back onto your back. So with the knees bent, we're going to lift one knee, grab at the back of the leg, and as we breathe out, we're pulling the knee towards the nose and we're lifting the nose towards the knee. Then as we're breathing in, we're going to bring ourselves back down, bring the knee or the foot back down to the floor. Let's change sides. So grab hold of the other leg, bend it. Breathe out, pull the knee and the nose together. It doesn't matter if they don't touch. And as you're breathing in, bring the foot down. So you can stay with just taking the foot down, or we can start to move the other leg out. So if we lift the one knee up and grab hold of it, but then we're pushing the other foot out. So it's just hovering above the floor. We're going to breathe out and again bring our nose and knee together. As we breathe in, we're going to swap the legs, the head comes down, but we're grabbing hold of the opposite leg. We're breathing out, we're pulling. We're breathing in, we're swapping. Breathing out, pulling. Breathing in, swapping. Breathe out. Breathe in. One more on each side. Here we go. Bring the two knees in, pull them in towards your chest and roll them round in a circle. Then we're going to roll it round in the opposite direction. And this is just a nice massaging effect. We tend to do this at the end, but it's also nice in the middle. It's nice anytime to massage that lower part of the spine. Or if we come into chakras, we're working this chakra right down here, our base chakra. So we're going to bring ourselves up onto our bum, and then we can roll over onto our back, our belly, sorry. So we're going to bring it into Sphinx. We're bringing our elbows underneath our shoulders. Now we're using our lower body as well. So with our arms, without our neck, we're letting our neck come in and we're lifting our head out of our shoulders. We're imagining that we're sliding our elbows back, but they're not going to go anywhere, but you'll find that it'll push the chest forward. Now lift your belly, pull your pelvic, your abdominals in and try and lift your belly off the floor. If it doesn't go, it doesn't matter. Then think about your pelvic floor and try and pull your lower pelvic floor muscles up. Then if you push into the top of your foot, see if you can lift your knees off the floor. So everything's pulling back. But we're breathing still. And then we're going to turn the elbows out and let the body relax down. So make sure you relax your bum. If you want, you can let your bum wiggle from side to side. And your legs go side to side. And that's quite nice for the lower body. So we're going to bring it up again. We're going to bring our elbows under our shoulders, have our fingers down. Start with our neck pulling down and everything nice and relaxed. And then we're breathing in, we're lifting the head, we're sliding the arms, we're lifting the belly, we're engaging the pelvic floor, we're lifting the knees. But we're breathing. But where are we breathing? Where's easier? Try moving the air around the lungs. And then we're breathing out. Everything's dropping down. Everything's relaxing. We're relaxing our head. So we're coming up onto our knees. We're bringing our hands underneath our shoulders. And we're pushing back. Now, if you need to, this is where, if you can't come up onto the knees, roll over onto your side, bring yourself up, grab your cushions. So if you need to, have these underneath. If you find that even doing this you can't go onto your knees, it's too much, we're going into cat and cow. So you can either sit down in cat and cow and just do this version of cat and cow. Okay, so if you need to, you can sit up. Oh, the rain started. So we're going into cat and cow. Now with cat and cow, it's a movement with the spine. You're breathing out, you're tilting the pelvis up, you're pushing forward. Even if you're on your bum, it's the same movement. As you're breathing in, your pelvis is turning the opposite direction. Your shoulders are pulling back. Your head's looking up. You're breathing in. You're breathing out. You're pushing up. Think of pushing off the hand. You'll feel the lift off your knees. As you go down into cow, tilting the pelvis up, pulling back, you may feel a push into the knees and a push into the hands in this position. Breathing out. And breathing in. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. So we're going to hold it in tabletop. Now from here you're going to bring your bum over to one side and look down towards it. Then you're going to wiggle your bum over to the other side and have a look down towards it. And we're just wiggling the bum side to side. So you carry on doing that if you're on your knees. If you're sitting down, and you kind of just do this, going over to the side. And it's doing a similar thing when we're up on our knees and we're looking down. We're pinching the one side, but we're stretching the other side. But it's quite nice. And then from here, we're sitting back into child. Turn the palms over. Let the head relax. Again, if the head doesn't touch the floor, use your cushion so that the head relaxes too. Because the whole time you've been doing that, the neck's been going up and down, and then it's been going backwards and forwards. So we need to make sure that it relaxes. We're going to take it up and we're bringing it into a stretch for the psoas muscle, so a sort of crescent moon. From here we're bringing our foot through. Now again, if you are, you can't go onto your knees, you may want to come up into a standing position and you're going to do a warrior lunge. Okay, so if it's easier to bring the knee up, then you can go here. You can always go here as well. Otherwise, we're going to stay with our foot on the floor. Our knee on the floor. So we're taking the foot back. Like I said, if you need to, you can always stick extra padding. But we shouldn't really be leaning too much on there. We're just pushing our foot forward, our hip forward. We're just dropping our hip down so that we feel this stretch right through the front of the thigh. And like I said, if that's too much on your knee, then you may find that doing it that version with the knee lifted might be better for you. And then we're taking it back and we're changing sides. So we're bringing the foot through the hands. We're taking that back leg back a bit if it'll go. If it doesn't, don't worry. And then we're dropping the hips. You'll feel the stretch through the psoas, but you'll also feel the stretch through the back of the thigh, through the bum. And we're going to take it back and do one more on each side. So remember, if you can move that foot back, move it back. If you can't, don't worry. And let the hips drop. And bringing it back. Let's do the other side. And again, letting the hips drop. And bring it back. So, I'm going to get you to sit back. So you get it, if you need to, you can go down onto your bum for now. We're going to do a bit of a knee lift. This is a bit painful now. So you're going to bring yourself into hero, but again, you can use them pillows. So you can stick them underneath so that you're resting on these rather than sitting too far back on your feet. Even sitting in this position for some people is bad enough. It is as hard as you can get. If again it's too much for your knees, I'm thinking more of for thingy. So you bring yourself up onto a chair and stick your foot under. Right, not very good. Thing there. You'd stick your foot under so that your feet is in your legs in this position, but you're not putting the weight on the knee. But at least you're getting yourself, and just do one at a time, so that you're getting your body used to going in this position and this foot in this position. So that's the start. I'll keep this here. So like I said, first of all, you're just starting to sit in this position, and it'll start to work the front of the thigh, but you'll also feel it pulling here and pulling here. Now, if you can, you don't have to. And if you're sitting on a chair, you're not going to. If you're sitting in this position, you're going to try and lift your knees off the floor. You may find that it's really painful here. So you might again find if you put a cushion underneath and lift it, it may make it a little bit, not much, not much, but a little bit nicer. So you're just lifting. But it's again, it's encouraging this stretch at the front of the thigh. The front of the leg, sorry. If you can do one at a time, you might find you might be able to do two. But don't worry if you can't. And then bringing it back down. So, from there, we're going to make it a little bit harder. We're going to do a toe squash. So you're bringing your toes underneath, you're pulling your toes apart, and then you're sticking your bum onto your heel and trying to push your knee down. Now, if you're on a chair, same sort of thing. Instead of having it here, you can take it there, and with your foot on the edge, just trying to push the heel back, push the knee down so that you're stretching that foot and that knee. Okay? So it can be on the chair if you need to. If you've got blood pressure, then I don't really want you jumping up and down to a chair, because it'll just get your blood pressure up and down. So again, you're doing one foot and then the other. You're just trying to push, and you'll feel the stretch right through the sole of the foot. And again, this is not for anybody on a chair. On a chair, you're just going to bring yourself down in a moment. For anyone on the floor, then you're bringing your foot together, and again, you're lifting your knees off the floor. That's the 2 feet going backwards. And then from here, we're going to push back, stretching them legs down. And then we're going to bend the knees, bringing ourselves back down, and let's try one more. So lifting the knees, straightening the feet, straightening the legs. And lift the toes, let's curl down. Lovely. Take your feet out. Sit back to hero. It should be quite nice when you come into hero after that. So we're going to take it into an adapted sun salutation. We're not coming up into standing. We're just going to go, how's it, where we go? We're going cow, cat, dog, cobra, back to dog, back to child, and then back up, okay? So it's a kind of a quick movement. So we're bringing our hands down. Again, if it's knee problems, then you may want to start on the chair. But again, we're not coming too long. So from here, we're going into cow. So we're pulling the chest back, we're looking up. We're going into cat and we're pushing up. We're tucking the toes and we're lifting into down dog. We're coming back down to the knees. We're coming down, moving the legs back if we need to, bring the chest to the floor, roll the shoulders, lift to cobra or sphinx if you prefer. Push back to child. Keeping the hands where they are. Feel the stretch through the back. Coming back up. We're going into cow. We're going into cat. We're tucking the toes. If we can jump up to dog, we put a little spring in our step. We're coming down to our knees. We're bending our elbows back, bringing our chest down. Lifting to cobra. Pushing back to child. Let's try 2 more. Into cow. Into cat. Into dog. Onto knees. Into cobra. Back to child. Let's try 1 more. Lifting up. Bring it to cow. And then to cat. Then to dog. Then to knees. Then into cobra. Into child. Stay here. Turn your palms over. Let your elbows relax. Let the head relax. Let the body relax. Lovely. And then let's bring ourselves back up. Beautiful. So we're going to go into an upside down tree. So we bring ourselves onto our back. Have our foot on the floor. Flex your other foot and place it on your knee. So you can stay here by just pushing the leg away. So you're not using your hand, you're just opening it with your hip. That's the same thing we do when we stand up, but that time we're worried about the balance. We're not thinking about what the hip's doing, otherwise we fall over. So here, we can just think about what the hip's doing. We don't have to worry about balance, we don't have to worry about our back. Everything is protected. We're just working that inner thigh and outer thigh. So we're opening and then we want to push the knee down. So again, we're not pushing with our hand. We're just trying to push with our thighs, with our muscles in our hips to push that foot down. Flex your foot so that you're pulling the toes back towards the knees. And just holding it there. And then bring it back and take it up. So let's try the other side. So again, flexing the foot, place it on top of the knee, and then just butterflying it, just pushing it back, letting it go, bouncing it. Now you'll feel any kind of discomfort in the knee as you're doing that. So this is why we don't want to push with our hand, because we kind of might push a bit too much. Our hip knows exactly, and our knee knows exactly how far it can go without injuring itself. But sometimes if we're not thinking and we just give it a push, then we might injure our leg, our knee. One thing we don't want to injure is our knee. We kind of need them. So again, now we're going to push down with that thigh and try and keep it open as much as we can. Think about the thigh muscle, the bum muscle, every muscle that's working to push down. And then take it up. So let's bring that foot up again, place it on our thigh, the other opposite leg. Now we're pushing it away, but now we're going to lift the foot off the floor and stick our hand through our leg and see if we can first grab the back of the thigh, and we're pulling that straight leg, that leg that was on the floor, we're pulling it in towards us. You can keep the leg bent or you can straighten the leg up in the air. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But we're still pushing that knee out at the same time. So again, we're doing two things, but we're not thinking about balance. We're working on the thighs. So this would be the second stage where we're going into a bend. Now we're going to bend the knee that's up in the air, and we're going to see if we can grab hold of our ankle and pull our heel. So again, flexing our foot, but pulling our heel in towards the crack of our bum, while tucking the chin in and pushing the knee out. Push that knee out, see that helps to push that heel right into the crack of your bum. Flex your foot as if you were standing on the floor. And then bring the foot back down to the floor and take the foot off your knee. Bring it down. So let's do the other side. Flex your foot, place it up on top of your knee. Push the knee away. Lift the foot off the floor. Grab at the back, so one hand through the leg and grab at the back of your thigh. Pull that leg in towards you at the same time pushing the knee out. Straighten the leg if you want. You don't have to. But again, keep pushing that bent knee out to the side. Pulling that straight leg or that bent leg in towards the body. Tuck your chin in. Relax. This is a great exercise again if you've got sciatica. Perfect for sciatic nerve. And if you think about it, it's upside down pigeon as well. So we're going to bend that straight knee if it's straight. Bring it in, grab the ankle, flex the foot, pull it in towards the crack of your bum, push that knee out. And we're bringing the foot down. We're taking the knee up. We're going to bring the two legs in towards the chest. We're going to take the legs apart and we're going to bring them round, each of them in a circle, going in opposite directions. So the thing they do to babies when they're born to check for clicky hip. We're just working out that hip. So we're going to take it round the other way. So we're taking it out and out in the opposite direction. Again, as well as working the hips, it also gives a little stretch to the ligaments of the knee. and then bring the feet down. So we're going to turn the palms over, putting the shoulders in, and we're going to take it into a pelvic lift. So we're walking our feet in as close to our bum as possible, tucking our chin in, tilting our hips down, up, so that they're tilted up and the base of our spine's going down. And then we're lifting our bum up towards the ceiling. Hold it here. Try not to let the knees fall apart. Make sure that they're kind of coming towards each other. You're working that inner thigh muscle at the same time. They don't have to be together. They just don't have to be pulling apart. They have to be in the same direction they were as you're going up. And then we're tilting the pelvis up. We're trying to bring the spine down a little bit at a time. Then when we get to the bottom, we've got to roll it so that we're making that arch a bit bigger, because we've got to get right to the tailbone at the bottom. We're going to roll it down again, tilting the pelvis, and then lifting back up. Now see if you can walk your feet in a bit closer, or walk your shoulders down towards the heels. And again, we're tilting and we're rolling down. We're going to bring them legs in and then roll onto our side and then onto our belly. So we're going to take it into a dolphin pose from here. So your elbows are on the floor. You can have the hands flat down, or you can bring them together. The elbow should be under the shoulder. You're lifting onto your bum, walking your knees in. We're not stopping here very long. Tucking your toes and lifting and pushing back to dolphin. Look forward toward your hands. Push from your shoulders to lift. You don't want your head down by the floor. You want to be pushing up and out, but pushing back. Look, we're working then forearms. Like I said, you can have your hands flat on the floor as well if you want to. And then we're bringing the knees down. We're pushing back to child. Take the arms away. We're going to go back up one more time. We're bringing the hands in again. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Lift into a dolphin pose. Walk the feet in a bit more if you can. Push the shoulders back. Lift the head away from the floor, but try and look towards your hands. Push the heels to the floor. Push the knees back. Engage the thighs, engage the stomach muscles, engage the shoulders. And then bring the knees down. Undo the toes. Push the child, bring them hands out. we're bringing ourselves all the way down onto our belly. So we're going into bow pose. I would have finished with wheel, but we probably won't finish with wheel. We won't get into that. So we'll go into bow, which is the opposite. You're bringing your foot up. Now, if you can't reach your foot, you can always get a band or anything around your foot and hold on to that. Okay? So even if you can't get a hold. Now, you want to try and bring your hand and grab hold of the foot, the fingers on one side, the thumb on another, and then you're flexing the foot. The hand on the front, bring it underneath your chest so it's pushing you up into a back bend already, and then you're trying to push your foot up in the air and also flick it away at the same time. So that's the two movements with the leg. So you're lifting and trying to push. And if you want, you can look down towards your foot. Breathe in here. And then we're bringing it down. We're going to change sides. So we keep the upper body up. We lift the foot up, flex it, grab hold. Push the foot off the floor, push it away, look down towards it. And then bringing it down. Let's try one more on each side before we attempt the double. So reaching back. Lift the upper body, lift the foot, kick the foot away. And let's change last time. Keep that upper body lifted, flex the back foot, lift it, kick it away. And bring it down. So we're going to have a go at the double. Yeah. Here we go. Bring them feet in. Reach back. Flex, breathe in, lift up. Lovely. That's it. Lovely faces you're pulling there. And then relax. We're going to bring ourselves into child. So we're lifting, we're pushing back. Let the legs open, let your belly fall in between. Let your head relax, put a pillow underneath if you need. Bring the hands behind, let everything drop down. And this should feel lovely on your lower back. It should feel lovely on your psoas muscles, on the inside of your thighs. Shoulders should feel as if they just want to drop forward. And either have your head flat down or turn your head to the side. And then if we bring ourselves back up. So I'm going to get you to lie yourself down. We're going to do our relaxation. If I lose Instagram, make sure that you do your breathing at the end of the session. So pull yourself in, don't jump out. I'm going to get you to do Sitari, breathe in. So with this, you're breathing in through the mouth. You can have your tongue either in a curl. I can't curl my tongue, but if you can curl it up, or you can just bring your tongue and stick it at the top of your teeth. Then you're hissing, sucking in the air, filling the whole of the lungs. You're going to then try and pull the chin in, lock the chin, and lock your pelvic floor. Hold it for 5-10 seconds, and then breathe out through the nose. We're going to do that 10 times. If you need to, at any time, just take a big full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. But it's a very cooling breathing exercise. So we're going to lie down. You can sit up if you want, but I'm going to lie down. Turn the music up a touch. So you can lie in corpse pose with your feet out, or you can bend the knees, bring the knees together, relax that spine down, whichever feels better for you. You can have your hands placed lightly on your belly, so as you breathe in, they'll come apart, as you breathe out, they'll come back together. Again, it's up to you. Tuck the chin down. Think about breathing in through the mouth, filling the lungs. Then pull the chin in, pull the pelvic floor in, hold that air in the body. Then breathing out through the nose, releasing the pelvic floor, releasing the neck lock, and then we're breathing in again.